Greetings, sir and sirettes, and welcome back to From the Depths with me, Lathrix, and of course, welcome back yet again to our battleship. Now, the battleship has been doing exceedingly well, and honestly, just has been crushing the grand forces of the Onyx Watch, but I feel we can upgrade it even further, and this will be the last time we upgrade it, as we are now so close to the end of the campaign, and the next campaign we play, the next season, I wish to make all of my boats, all of my ships, within reason in the campaign itself, rather than going back to the sandbox mode, thus making it a little bit more difficult for me, a little bit more time-pressing, and hopefully a little bit more interesting. But I'm hoping I'll make it a little bit more interesting today as well, because we are going to be playing around with the particle cannon, a weapon I really haven't had much experience with. The particle cannon is a new weapon which uses power, it uses battery power, rather than using engine power like the regular laser, and has a lot of customizability. It can either be a really powerful one-shot EMP blast, it can be a rapid-fire regular shot which does piercing or impact damage, or it can even explode when it hits the target, and it can be between 1 and 4 lasers. So it's a really cool weapon, really complex, and I've had almost no experience with it. So I'm going to quickly put together a basic particle cannon and see how it does against some of the lesser enemies of the Onyx Watch. Before we go ahead and create the larger particle cannon and make it as efficient as possible, let's have a quick look-see at the power of a very small, very poorly built particle cannon. Now, this drone was built in the space of about an hour whilst I was on holiday using a laptop which could hardly even run from the depths, but it is a good showcase of a very bad particle cannon, showing just how powerful even that can be. So let's spawn in an enemy like, let's say, the casket bolt, which I think is a good example. The casket bolt is made mostly out of wood with a little bit of metal here and there, so it is pretty resistant against EMP. At the same time, it's got enough mass that we can at least see the target be hit. So let's wait for it to fire. And there we go, one shot dealing 3,100 EMP damage at that distance. I think, actually no, both of them are firing, so half that, and that's how much damage each one is shooting. You may also notice it's firing in separate lasers, which is definitely not the best for EMP. It does do more collateral damage, but the EMP won't travel as far, so it won't go all the way to a mainframe on larger ships, it won't destroy turrets, and stuff like that. And it wasn't quite enough to take out the casket bolt in one shot, sadly. Although it did do a fair bit. There's an 8-second reload time on this one. A lot of them missing, but there we are, AI dead. So that is the power of a very small particle cannon, and what made me realise the particle cannon would actually be a great starter weapon. If you're starting from the depths, the particle cannon is not that difficult to understand, and is really powerful on the small scale. This type of weapon, I feel like, would be a great weapon against something like the flying squirrel, because it instantly hits the target, it has no projectile time, so if we eventually fire, there we go, one shot, and the flying squirrel is downed. Not quite dead though, just headless. Second shot should kill it, I think? Oh no, it is in fact AI dead. So this type of weapon, really good on very basic things. When I eventually do the land campaign, I am definitely making a tank with a particle cannon head on it. Turret. I can't quite help but use this drone a little bit more. It's a bit of a nostalgia thing. Since I built it on holiday, it's now attached to very good memories. So this is the Plunderer, one of the godly designs of the Deepwater Guard, and honestly one of my all-time favourite ships. It looks ramshackle, the cannons look realistic and just freaking awesome, and the overall design is easily one of my favourite. So, let's see how good that really weak particle cannon is on something like this, and let's showcase just how overpowered EMP can be. Now, thankfully, like I said, we can always swap EMP for something else if we feel like it's making fights boring. Begin! One shot there, and it took out a lot of stuff on the inside. It's always hard to tell just how much it actually does, but by the looks of things, it took out a shield, it took out multiple components. Second and third shot. Sorry, third and fourth shot, rather. That is really weird looking. I mean, it looks very cool, but the reason why it's doing so little is because the Plunderer has so much wood, and sadly EMP does almost nothing to wood, it gets stopped by it. That's why the Bulwark has wood all the way around its AI mainframes. There we are. However, if it directly hits something, it will do a fair bit of damage. Oh wow, AI dead. Never mind, it killed the Plunderer already. And that's a godly design. And this is a very weak set of particle cannons. Well done, drone. Well done. Fire one more time before we go. And now I will go and do the lengthy process of building a more efficient version of this on our battleship. Well done, drone. I kind of want to bring these now into the campaign, just in really high numbers. After starting work on this turret, which admittedly has only been going on for like 5 minutes, I remembered I have actually tested out particle cannons before, in the previous season, and the conclusion I came to was that I personally prefer lots of little lasers rather than one mega concentrated laser. And that's not always true, of course. Some of the settings are definitely better at simply having one massive attack, but with the piercing and the impact, I particularly found that having several medium strength lasers being able to do loads of collateral damage, or perhaps strip multiple functional components in one shot, tended to be a little bit better. So that's what we're going to try and do now. Have each of these separate and not connect, so that this weapon fires 4 lasers rather than just a single. It's time to test out the cannon. So this is version 1. We'll be doing a round of testing with each of the separate modes, so the impact, the piercing, EMP, and explosive, and this is the size of the turret. It does look pretty big, but honestly, when it comes to particle cannons, even a small cannon can be very powerful if you overclock it. It really comes down mostly to the amount of energy it requires to do a certain amount of damage. You can make a very small version do a lot of damage if you have a massive bank of power. It still can't do as much damage as a large version, but honestly, you normally don't go that far anyway. I think this is a good middle point. It's going to do a fair bit of damage without taking up too much power. The first test will be against a Lightning Hood's Thunderbird. So then, EMP, let's see how we do. Just do that there, and go. Well, we definitely hit the target. Ooh, we have definitely taken out its movement capabilities. I'm really hoping it doesn't hit our weapon. Only the particle cannon is currently online. Is that EMP still going? Wow. Why isn't it shooting again? Have we got damaged? We should be firing. I can't see any damage to the weapon itself. It should only take 10 seconds to fully charge up and fire. Oh, it did just fire then. It did just fire. Perhaps I simply missed it the last time because of the green lasers. That is a very, very good possibility. Well, it's still firing at us, but that is it completely in a sitting duck position, so we could very easily kill it now if we had our other weapons online. That's a pretty good example, so a good success there. And firing again, this time taking out the weapons. So, from what I saw, it was 3 shots. However, I am very open to the possibility of it being 4 shots, especially with how long the first shot seemed to last, to fully destroy the Thunderbird. Not bad. Overall, 70,000 EMP damage. That destroyed a lot of functional parts. Onwards to piercing, impact, and explosive. Okay, we hit the bottom, and there's the EMP doing its business. Well, it's definitely messed up its controls, and it's going to space! Well, we sent the Eerie to space. That's something, I suppose. I mean, it's still shooting at us, so we will eventually lose, since all of our other weapons are offline, but, that's not too bad, honestly. That's not too bad. Well done, you did a good hit, but now we're just going to be bombarded from space. Honestly, making the situation far worse for ourselves. Second test will be against the Kingstead, this time using the piercing mode. This way, we should hopefully have the weapon act like a sniper shotgun, going straight through the metal and hopefully quite through the enemy target. I'm not sure if this one will work out too well because the inaccuracy is a bit too high to do this. You can have multiple shots and still have a good piercing weapon, but it's good if they're a bit more clustered. Mine are going to hit pretty much everywhere. So let's begin. Just waiting for it to charge up again. There we are. As we can see, the shots are going pretty much everywhere. 2 direct hits. The third one missed, and the fourth most likely was actually within these 2, since I can't see the fourth anywhere else. So, let's see how well this did. It's gone through here. It's gone all the way through there. It sadly just missed the AI. And did it do any more damage? It doesn't look like it actually has. That's a bit concerning. That damage is a bit too low. The second one, going through the outer layer, destroying all of these, and then getting stuck here. So by the looks of it, it can destroy about 3-4 layers of metal. Since it has destroyed the outside, it's then destroyed 1. So it's destroyed 1, 2, potentially. No, definitely 2. 3, 4, about 4 or 5 pieces of metal. So 4 or 5 full metal beams. Or maybe I'm wrong, since this has actually been destroyed in here as well. I'm clearly wrong. It didn't have enough power to destroy the metal, but has destroyed in here as well. Never mind, that did a lot better than I actually thought. Now, sadly, the visuals do always go through the target, so you're never sure if you've actually fully pierced the target and done damage the entire way through. But we have. But we have! That went straight through! It must have. Well done then. Never mind what I was saying, that did a lot better than I originally thought it did. So continue then. That was actually a lot of damage. Oh dear. We forgot to do that. Please don't hit the turret. Thank you. Okay then, second shot, where have we hit? We have hit the underside. So it seems like the one problem is that these trails aren't perfectly accurate where they were hitting. That makes it a little bit more confusing to see just how much damage was done. Either way, it's gone through here. Ooh, there's a weapon here, which we very narrowly missed. It's gone through here, it's destroyed this section, it's gone through this wall, it's gone through this section over here and made a hole through here, and then exited on this side. And the other one exited through here, thus going through far more metal. Yeah, I feel like this could be really good if you set up it so it would only fire against turrets or against AI mainframes. Onwards to the next weapon type. The next victim is the Warden from the Onyx Watch. We are using the Impact, so hopefully what we will see is a lot of damage from where the shot first hits. I will be changing this one's settings to have a faster fire rate, but weaker per shot, purely because Impact hasn't got a particularly high armor piercing rate, it just does more consistent damage, so consider it more like a kinetic shell rather than an armor piercing one. Let's go. Oh, that was way more powerful than I expected. Look how much armor that just shaved off. I don't know what to say. That was just so much more powerful than I expected. The second one didn't do quite as much, but even so. Just look at that. I'm surprisingly happy. Also, sorry for the FPS loss. I have no idea why this is happening at the moment. Since the last From the Depths update, the sandbox mode is remarkably laggy. Well, I'm fairly happy with that, honestly. I'm very happy with that. Also, of course, the fact that it hits instantly is such a massive bonus. Wow, okay then, let's destroy the enemy, respawn it in a second, this time with a faster fire rate but less damage. This is actually try 4 with impact. The problem is, with the particle cannon, and a lot of people have told me this before when they've used it themselves, is that the lower the charge time, so let's say I only have a charge time of 1 second, like I have here, the lower the accuracy. But it is a massive difference. It isn't just a damage difference, it's an accuracy difference. And I've changed it to 2 seconds, I've changed it to 5 seconds. I can't get a better setting than simply 10 seconds. So very, very likely that's what we're going to have to stick with. Let's just move it over to 5 anyway, just to see how that works. I think that may have hit the bottom. Yeah, as you can see, even the damage isn't that impressive. It really is a lot better when we have it fully charged. So impact, definitely better than I expected. Probably not my favourite overall. Last one, this time with Explosive Shock. This has been the least impressive in the past, so I am curious to see just how well this will do. These particles explode on contact with the first surface they hit. 10% of damage potential is applied as an explosive force with a radius of 5 meters. And if you'd like to read the others, I would suggest that you pause now, because reading is not my strong point. Final test, once again using the Warden. We are using the explosive mode, and I'm really hoping it's better than I remember. The one concern I do have is that each of the shots will be doing a lot of collateral damage, which is good, but I feel like I've overclocked it a little bit too much, so some damage might be wasted, since they can only damage things within 5 meters of the initial impact site. Either way, let's begin. Just waiting for it to charge up once more. Okay, all of them did hit the same location, which is a bit worrying. Let's see how much damage that actually dealt, though. That is not very impressive at all. Also, if you pause time when these things are reloading, it does this. Isn't that really oddly hypnotic? So, it kind of damaged some of the smaller pieces of metal. It's done a little bit of internal damage, and that's it. For how much power that's going to consume per shot, I don't think that's good enough. Let's let it shoot again in case that was a fluke. Second shot, sadly all hitting the same place again, which is a massive concern. It would be a lot better if they hit multiple areas. Allow the smoke to settle, and we peeled the top layer of armor off. I feel like this would be good against the Deepwater Guard, which has much weaker armor. I feel like it would be good against flyers to make them unstable, but against a metal opponent, it really seems to be not the best. Yeah, I am not impressed by that at all. So I feel like the impact is way better than I expected. The penetration shots definitely have their place, and the EMP, as we all expected, because it's EMP, does really, really well. And I'm not quite sure which one I prefer. I think it is between impact and EMP, to be honest. I don't think I'll be using Pierce. Just because I like collateral damage. Which is a real shame, then, that this is easily the weakest. And with that, I'm afraid I am all out of time. I was going to go back into the campaign, but sadly I have run out of time. I have just came back from the convention I was at over the weekend, and I really wanted a From the Depths video sorted and uploaded on the channel. The next video will be fairly soon in comparison to normal, which is once a week, to make up for this, in addition to the fact that now I've done all the experimenting on camera. It means all I have to do is sort out the turret, complete it, probably making it a bit larger, making it a bit more efficient, doing a bit more testing off camera, and then we can go straight into the campaign with a fully upgraded turret, a fully upgraded battleship, and take over even more of the Onyx Watch territory. I might even try to make that drone a bit better so we can use that in combat as well. So thank you so much for watching. If you have enjoyed the video regardless, then of course, likes, favourites, shares, comments, all that good stuff helps out me, helps out the channel, and most importantly, shows that From the Depths is a series you wish to see continued in the future. I'll be seeing you very soon with the next episode. Goodbye.